Hello, and welcome back to the Coachman. For today's reading, we're going to be heading all the way over to France. And we're going to read a cool, interesting story that's pretty kind of wicked in a sense, I guess you could say. But it's all the way back it was published in the 1920s and it was written by Comtesse de Segur. And it's a pretty cool French story called Blondine. There was once a king called Benin. He was good and all the world loved him. He was just and the wicked feared him. His wife, the Queen Duchette, was also good and much beloved. This happy pair had a daughter called the Princess Blondine because of her superb fair hair, and she was amiable and charming as her father, the king, and her mother, the queen. Unfortunately, the queen died a short time after the birth of Blondine, and for a long time the king wept bitterly as his great loss. Blondine was too young to understand her mother's death. She did not weep, but continued to laugh, to play, and to sleep peacefully. The king loved her tenderly, and she loved him more than all the world. He gave his little daughter the most beautiful jewels, the finest bonbons, and the most rare and delicious fruits. Blondine was very happy. Now I'm going to say this, yeah? Her name was Blondine, fair hair to a king. Have we heard this theme before? One day, it was announced to the king that all his subjects demanded that he should marry again in order to have a son who should reign after him. He refused at first, but finally yielded to the pressing desires of his people and said to his minister Leger, "My dear friend, my subject wished me to marry again, but my heart is so sad because of the death of my cherished Queen Duchette that I cannot undertake the task of seeking another wife. Go, then, my good Leger, and find me a princess who will make my sweet Blondine happy. Go. I ask for nothing more. When you have found a perfect woman, you will demand her hand in marriage and conduct her to my court." So this is kind of an interesting thing, because I would say, imagine this, yeah? Let's take like somebody, I don't know, like Drake, yeah? And imagine that he had a dude and he said, "Yo, I want you to go out there and I want you to find me the finest missus, yeah? That you can find and bring her back to me." Like, that would be such an interesting concept today. If people who are like, let's say Elon Musk, or let's say before, like when LeBron James was in his prime, or Michael Jordan, like they said, yeah, go find me. Now, granted, I know they happen to clubs, but imagine if they actually that's how dudes got married. It'd be interesting. Leger set off immediately, visited many courts, and saw innumerable princesses, ugly, humpbacked, and wicked. Yeah, I bet he did. I mean, think about it. Humpbacked. I'm talking about some of these ladies sound nasty. Yeah, so we'll see. At last, he arrived at the kingdom of the monarch Turbulent, who had a lovely daughter, bright, winning, and apparently good. Leger found her so charming that he asked her hand in marriage for his King Benin, without sufficiently inquiring into her real character. Uh-oh. Code switching. It's like, no, I don't know. Turbulent was enchanted at the prospect of getting rid of his daughter, who was jealous, proud, and wicked. Also, her presence often interfered with his excursions for pleasure, with the chase, and with his various entertainments at the palace. So in other words, this little brat constantly got in homeboy's way. So imagine, like, it's almost like having that dog, you know what I mean, that you love the dog when you're at home chilling, but the minute they get, like, that dog sees other people, he's jumping on other dogs, biting people, barking at everybody, and just going buck wild. Well, you could also say that for some people's kids, but we'll leave that alone. Without a moment's hesitation, he acceded to the prime minister's request, and he returned with the princess to the kingdom of the good King Benin. The princess forbet, was accompanied by 4,000 mules, loaded with the jewels and wardrobe of the charming bride. King Benin had been apprised of their approach by a courier and went forward to receive the Princess Forbette. He found her beautiful, but he noted the absence of the mild and attractive expression of the poor lost Duchette. So my man is basically this king is like judging, like, is she better than my old missus? And it seems like she's not like hacking it yet. So when Forbette's eyes fell upon Blondine, her glance was so cruel, so wicked, that the poor child, who was now 3 years old, was greatly terrified and began to weep bitterly. "What is the matter?" said the king. "Why does my sweet and sensible Blondine weep like a bad little girl?" "Papa, dear papa," cried Blondine, throwing herself into the arms of the king, Do not give me into the hands of this princess. I am afraid of her. Her eyes are cruel." That says everything. Because look, there are only 3 types of people that will ever lie to you, that'll tell you the truth all the time. That is drunks, dogs, and kids. They will always tell you the truth, flat out. So, kid tells you something, sometimes you might want to listen to them. So, okay. So, the king was much surprised. He turned so suddenly towards the Princess Forbette that she had no time to control herself, and he perceived the terrible glance with which she regarded the little Blondine. All right, at this moment, I'm kicking this nugget right out of my kingdom in a heartbeat, yeah? Benin immediately resolved that Blondine should be wholly separated from the new queen and remain as before under the exclusion protection of the nurse who had taken care of her and who loved her tenderly. The queen thus saw Blondine rarely, and when she met her by chance, she could not wholly dissimulate the hatred she felt for her. About a year from that time, a daughter was born to the Queen Forbette. She was named Brunette, because of her dark hair, which was black as the raven's wing. So why would you call her Brunette? Well, you can't call her Blackette. That would be so bad. But yeah, okay. Brunette was pretty, but not so lovely as Blondine. Moreover, she was as wicked as her mother. She detested Blondine and played all sorts of cruel tricks upon her. Bit her, pinched her, pulled her hair, broke her toys, and tore her beautiful dresses. I'm telling one of my, a knight in my guard, teach my little girl to put paws on this little kid. And absolutely I'm talking go ham and wreck shop, yeah? I'm talking taekwondo, jujitsu, whatever. Put her in figure 4 leg locks. I'm teaching my little girl to, go get her. Put some hands on her. The good little Blondine was never in a passion with her sister, but always tried to make excuses for her conduct. This is one little kid that, there are kids like this, and I commend them. Gotta. "Oh, Papa," she said to the king, "do not scold Brunette. She is so little. She does not know that she grieves me when she breaks my toys. It is only in play that she bites me, pulls my hair, and pinches." The good king embraced his little daughter and was silent, but he knew that Brunette was cruel and wicked, that Blondine was too gentle and good to accuse her. He loved Blondine, therefore, more and more from day to day, and his heart grew cold to Brunette. The ambitious Queen Forbette saw all this clearly and hated intensely the innocent and gentle Blondine. If she had not feared the rage of the king, she would have made Blondine the most wretched child in the world. Benin had commanded that Blondine should never be left alone with the queen. He was known to be just and good, but he punished disobedience severely, and the queen herself dared not defy his commands. Well, I don't know what happened, but I'll tell you this. If that was my kid, something would have happened, and it would have been good for her and I, not the other two. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend. And until next time, take care.